YouTube, how are you doing today? I'm not going to say what the crap's going on because that's Air of Carthage's thing. This is Abius Adius Rulis. I'm here to present to you today a replay in the hopes that I can actually record Total War Warhammer 2 videos and bring them out to you, my audience. This is totally different from what I normally do. You know me, I love streaming because I love having an audience to interact with, to talk to help me make the critical decisions. It just makes everything so much more enjoyable for me, and I feel like my content is better as a result. But there's a huge demand out there for Warhammer 2 content, and I gotta tell you, last night really turned my whole day around. I had a rough day. I had to go and I had to re-interview just for my job to keep it, hopefully for promotion, but we'll see. And I just wanted to go home, relax, kick back, enjoy a couple of cocktails, and Holy Pilgrim comes to me with this crazy idea. He says, "Hey, we're playing 2v2 Autogenerated army battles. You have to come join us." And I joined in. That made it 3v3, and then we did another one, and that was 4v4. And those games were hilarious. We auto picked the armies, and if you're not familiar with what that challenge is, Air of Carthage has a video on it, but let me show you a quick breakdown. This is how it works. First of all, you pick your army. I have 30 of the factions purchased right now, so what I did is I auto-generated a number between 1 and 30 using Google, and it told me in my first game that I got number 15, Carrot Kadrin, and then I clicked this button right here. Boom, that's the army I have to use. And the funny thing is that is almost the exact same army that I used last night. Apparently, that auto-gen button with Dowie really wants you to play with Iron Drakes and one Ranger. And 5 artillery pieces. It was chaos, and it was great. It was so much fun. And we did this in 3v3, and then we did another one on 4v4, and these battles were phenomenal. And I'm going to bring them to you. I'm going to bring them to you right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up the replay. And Holy Pilgrim, if you're watching, you're next on the list. I'm going to show that replay. But first, I want to show this little 3v3 right here. I also sent these replays to Air of Carthage in the hopes that he'll put them on his channel and he'll cast them. But he's going to be so confused about everything that's going on there because we were on voice comms the entire time through the Air of Carthage Discord, and we were cracking each other up. It was so good. We're going to give this a shot. This replay was recorded using an older version of the game. Already? Really? That was last night. What do you mean it was recorded on an older version of the game? Ugh, I think that's BS. Oh, no, wait. Huh. Um, that's interesting. So, Holy Pilgrim, if you're paying attention, the replay you just sent me, which is from after our 3v3 and our 4v4 yesterday, it's apparently on an older version of the game. Did you guys use mods or something? I'll give it a shot, but it may not actually play back the way we want it to. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and watch this replay here. Special thanks to everybody who was there. Once the game loads in, I'll be able to get everybody's names down for sure. But we had Touch Fluffy Tail, we had Regina Day as Avalorn, we had the Empire player here, I believe was Ungrim Iron Fist, and on my side, I rolled up Carrot Kadrin as Appius Rollis, Wintertooth was Holy Pilgrim, and Skaven was Wicked. We played on the multiplayer Blue Reach River, and the whole time we were just hoping that Avalorn's army's computer wouldn't crash. That was our one hope, our one dream, our one wish, that it would totally work out just fine. Okay, we're almost loaded in here. If this video works out, I'm only going to do this one video. There's the mic on announcement. Anybody, can somebody tell me why Corsair always feels like it has to interrupt my productions just to tell me that the mic has been turned on? The mic's been on this whole time. You wouldn't have heard me. Oh well. I move on. This video is just going to be for this replay. Because I want to put this out there and see how effective it is to get this video out to you. And to make sure that it isn't like watching a slideshow of the battle and not actually a video of the battle. and because I want to double check to make sure that I can actually effectively watch that replay that Holy Pilgrim sent me. Because they may have been using mods. I don't know. We'll see. It says it was an older version of the game. So we're going to kick right on into it. This battle wastes no time. Just get a look at this deployment. It is insane. And let's see here. The Skaven player, whose name isn't popping up, which I believe was Wicked. Normally it pops up when you hover over it. The Skaven player here, he deployed all over the map. He had so many different options for deployment. And the same is true with Holy Pilgrim's Norska faction. He was able to deploy around as well. And my one unit of Rangers, I felt deserved attention front and center right here. That unit of Rangers will get the job done. So we're going to pause because there's so many units here to talk about. These are all auto-generated armies, keep in mind. So the Skaven player. All right, here we go. We have Storm Vermin with halberds, a line of clan rat spears and shields, some of them with chevrons, some of them without. More clan rat spears and chevrons. Moving down the line, we've got some Skaven slave spears. 1, 2, 3, 4 units, all with different levels of chevrons. And then for artillery, you got 1, 2 warp lightning cannons. Is that 3? 3 warp lightning cannons and the plague claw catapult, supported by Queek Headtaker and an assassin. And when you auto-generate the armies, they get all of the abilities, all of the spells, none of the items. Okay, that's the important thing to remember. We got Skaven slave slingers over here, and that is it for the normal deployment. That's an enemy unit. Okay, back over here. He has forward deployed a Night Runners with slings. Ooh, that was loud. Night Runners with slings. Oh, okay. Sorry, I lost control of my my keyboard there for a second with that little announcement. And oh, there was one more. Where'd it go? No, that's Dorska. Okay, so moving on to Holy Pilgrim's Army. We have a unit of armored skinwolves in the woods with an advanced deployed Marauder Horsemaster. And then supporting the Skaven artillery is a Famir Balefiend of Fire, who's going to have some great shots later on. You'll see those. He has this Norskin Giant, a Flying Feral Manticore with some experience already purchased, Marauders with great weapons. Here's the Marauder Berserker Regiment of Renown. Here's another Marauder Champions. Here's a Marauder Chieftain, and a line of more Marauders and Marauder Spearmen, and a Marauder Ice Wolf's Chariot. Okay, my army, the woefully unprepared and ridiculously built 2 organ guns, a bolt thrower, and a flame cannon, as well as 1 dwarf warrior, a dwarf warriors with great weapons, a hammerer, and a iron breakers with 2 XP chevrons, and 4 iron drakes, one of them with XP, one of them with troll hammer torpedoes, as well as the aforementioned forward deployed ranger. Okay, moving on to their blobbed up formation. I'm not even going to try and do each army at a time. I'm just going to call the units as I see them. We've got 2 Knights Errant, both with 2 XP chevrons, with Spearmen with 3 XP on the flank, along with Men-at-Arms, Polearms, Reichsguard, a Hellstorm rocket battery, and a Blessed Field Trebuchet. Avalorn has brought along a Sun Dragon and a Frostheart Phoenix and Ilariel on the Great Eagle Mount. We also have Peasant Bowmen with pox arrows. Peasant Bowmen, the battle's already kicking off. Demigryph Knights with halberds in the woods. More crossbowmen. A Empire Captain. Grail Relique and the Prophetess of Beasts. That's a general of the Empire on his flying mount. We've got Reichsguard, Men-at-Arms also on the flank, supporting Knights of the Lionhearted and Knights Errant. Back into the woods. High Elf Cavalry was a huge impact this battle with Dragon Princes, Spearmen, Great Swords, the Pyrmane Company, Light White Lions of Chase, a Noble, Sigmar's Sons, Great Swords, another White Lions of Trace, Non-Regiment of Renown, another Spearmen, and that was their main core of their army. They also have Illyrian Reavers forward deployed, and already picking away at my Iron Drakes is a unit of Illyrian Reaver Archers, and 2 mounted yeoman archers, and in the distance, a Outriders with a grenade launcher, as well as 2 units of Pegasus Knights. That's everybody. Okay, let's get this show on the road. The Rangers are already opening fire on the Knights Errant. That definitely caught the Bretonnian player off guard, going, "Oh, wait, what's this? Rangers? What are you doing?" The artillery battle starts in the Empire's favor because the range of the Dawi artillery here is all short range. I'm going to get into position where you can watch the 2 armies approach. Here come the Skaven artillery shots. Kablam. I told my Rangers, like, "What are you doing? Don't run away. Hold your ground. Hold your ground. I don't want this right now. Just stand there and take it." And look at the carnage left behind by the Skaven artillery. That's a lot of dead knights. It's a lot of dead knights. And the Rangers, the funny thing is, they hold out okay. They hold out all right for being hit by 2 units of Knight Errant with those with that Skaven artillery taking advantage. Let me pull up the overlays. You're going to see eventually here. I'm going to get the wise idea to use my artillery on these two units. I was too busy thinking about trying to get up here and hitting all of this that was in the woods. I didn't know how much was here, but I knew there was something, and I wanted to try and get my artillery opening fire at least on this portion. But here goes the lines. We do a lot of jockeying back and forth. They're trying to reach around to get us from behind, you know, as one does. The Plague Claw catapults have decided they're going to try and make a meal out of the mounted yeoman archers. The Feral Manticore is going to go ahead and give chase. And here comes the Blessed Trebuchet shots, just hammering into the dwarf line here. They were convinced that they were just going to obliterate me. I guess that's what happens when you're YouTube partially semi-famous, right? No, of course not. It's Appius Accius Rulus. Of course I'm the most hated one. So my Rangers still just holding on for dear life. They have 4 kills on them already. And the relentless artillery fire from the Empire and Bretonnia factions. Field Blessed Trebuchet, say what you will, it is accurate. It is absolutely accurate. And just thank God it wasn't the Sunmaker. No, Sunmaker was in the 4v4. Back here, things are really starting to mix in. That is definitely one terrified Feral Manticore. Who would want to face that? I don't blame them. So their envelopment is almost complete, but here comes the Marauder Ice Wolf chariots. And the Skaven player has decided to, at the direction of Holy Pilgrim, who's playing Norska, to kind of protect his artillery. There's a lot going on here. Meanwhile, I have to keep moving my artillery forward, and ow, that Field Blessed Trebuchet is just making a mess out of my units. There we go. There we go. Look at that. And that's when my artillery starts opening fire on the Bretonnian Knights. And here come the Marauder Horsemasters. Organ guns pack one hell of a wallop. And here comes more Skaven artillery. Just making mincemeat out of my own units. And the Knights Errant just getting obliterated. But their artillery hasn't forgotten about me. Here goes the flame cannon shots. Do we get a roasted Grail Knight? Or Errant? No, those were pretty much missed shots. Okay. So, back over here, things have started to mix in a little bit more. The Rat Ogres decided they wanted to take a piece of the Mounted Yeoman Archers and didn't notice the Illyrian Reavers were going to be over here, and the Dragon Princes as well. And the Noble, and the Pegasus Knights, and the Dragons, and Alariel. That is one messed up Rat Ogre, and it will not last much longer. It's already broken. So here, you'll notice I've started to decide, you know what, I want to start looking at what's out here in the woods with my Iron Breakers, just in case. Get them ready on the flank and get them not eating all of this artillery fire. My Rangers have regrouped. They can't believe they've made it. I can't believe they've made it. The Knights Errant are out of there. So, as you can see, my team is starting to get a little spread out here, and their team, which is definitely the more mobile of the two armies, they're going for the envelopment, which just makes a lot of sense. So these gutter runners here are just going to get shot from behind by a unit that I missed earlier. Uh-oh. Yeah, there it is. A unit I missed earlier. The Outriders with grenade launchers. These guys are going to pick up an insane number of kills. Keep an eye on them, all right? The artillery is starting to open fire on what's hiding out here in the woods. So we've got the Bretonnian cavalry just has to get hit. Dawi artillery starting to fall back with it, but I don't think that idea is going to last. because here comes a summoned feral manticore from the Prophetess Laura Beast. Decides he wants a piece of the Dwarf Lord, and I say, you know what? Okay, I could do that. I could absolutely do that because I feel my flanks are fairly secure. My infantry's moving forward along with the Norscan infantry. We just want to put a silence to all of this artillery, and we think at this point their army is over here. Little did we know that in the woods the ambush awaited. And those Norscan units eat the majority of those first few rounds of fire. But that's okay, because I have Marauders with great weapons supporting my hammers. I've got Iron Breakers who are going to put up a hell of a show as well. Look at this friendly fire. Yeah. You know, it looks like there are definitely some effective shots there, and that was my organ guns also following up against this Reichsguard here, just trying to hammer away. Look who came back. It's the Knights Errant. And yeah, so they go after my hammers. They try to flank with the spearmen, but you know that's only going to be so effective. The men-at-arms and polearms are going to probably get a little bit of job done, but here comes the Iron Breakers to support, and I think you know what that means. Or did I order a melee attack? That might be it. Nope. Here, they're setting up. Are you going to start throwing? There they go. And that is it for the men-at-arms polearms. This was a match where, as you could tell, I did not care about friendly fire. Just did not care. Back here, meanwhile, the Feral Manticore got wrapped up in the Armored Skinwolves and my Dwarf Lord, and I've decided I'm going to go ahead and move on up my artillery, because I think I'm going to silence this piece fairly soon. And sure enough, here we go. Everything must die. That is correct. The hammers have gotten a piece of his artillery pieces now, and I'm going ahead and start bringing my Dwarf Warriors up. I make sure my Dwarf Warriors with great weapons are braced for this charge from the Reichsguard, but it's still probably not going to be the best trade for them. Iron Breakers over here with the support of the Marauders with great weapons, making good work on those spearmen. And it's about this time that we realize there's a lot of work still has to be done over here. My infantry, as you can tell, is definitely going to get overwhelmed, and when that's done, my artillery pieces are going to get overwhelmed. Meanwhile, in the backfield, the enemy is content to wait. They try to bait out attacks from our very few fast-moving units, and they move in, they move out. Here comes the Outriders with grenade launchers. Already picked up 75 kills, and here they go again, picking up more kills against the Skaven Slave Spears. And this is exactly what they're made for. They just grab a hold of you at range and let loose volley after volley after volley. 72 missile damage, explosive. It's just, and here I think this round's going to go into, yeah, one of them got a piece of the Storm Vermin with halberds, and the Skaven artillery is quick to react. Definitely quick to react. Here goes the Skaven Slave Spears to try and chase them off, but we don't want to abandon this position just yet. Meanwhile, back over this way, the Empire and Bretonia and High Elf Infantry has engaged, and they've decided, you know what? We got some Pegasus Knights for your artillery. Just as I was starting to get shots at the General of the Empire. My Flame Cannon trying to get shots on the General of the Empire, but can't get it quite at this range. So I go ahead and I order my Dwarf Ward, who's out here trying to protect my artillery, which is, as you can tell, very overextended, to chase off these Pegasus Knights and get these beautiful shots off on this General of the Empire. As you can tell, this is absolute chaos. And keep in mind, we're laughing the entire time we're doing this battle. We're just going nuts because we can't believe the picks that was given to us by auto-generation. All right. Meanwhile, check out these Iron Breakers, okay? With the support of the Marauders with great weapons, they are gonna do work. They're absolutely going to do work, and we'll be back to check on them in a second. I want to go check out that grenade launcher Outrider, because let me tell you what, he got some work done. He's already up to 117 kills. Bretonian Cavalry's like, all right, you know what? We're getting shot at now by Skaven artillery, Warp Lightning Cannons. Let's get out of here. Skinwolves have come over to support. They're trying to chase out the Noble. the Lyrian Reaver archers, you know, a decent amount of damage, but not a lot. And over here, she's hidden her Dragon Princess and her Illyrian Reavers in the woods, and we do forget about those guys, much to our dismay. Frostheart Phoenix and Ilario out here, chilling out. I'm not sure what happened to her dragon. It might actually be dead. Could we be so lucky? Here comes our Outriders with grenade launchers one more time, trying to make another push. And I don't want to miss it, because this is a good moment for them. Kaboom! Huge damage done. And they're gonna launch out another couple of rounds. But over here, I've moved up my Iron Drakes to chase off their Pegasus Knights and their cavalry that was all over my artillery, as well as the Marauder Icewolf's chariot. So I'm going to start getting my crews back into position, hopefully soon. Meanwhile, over here, remember those Iron Breakers I was telling you about? Look at their health. That 125 armor and the shields, that makes all the difference in the world. And they're going to sit there, and they're going to continue to take this. And they're going to do all right. That's the funny thing. That huge blob there. Because, I mean, what are we talking? We're even talking about some armor-piercing damage. We do have Reichsguard anti-infantry, but not armor-piercing. That's important. And 2 units of greatswords. They should definitely be getting some work done. And the Royal Pegasus Knights, they're actually anti-large, but they do have magical attacks. I'm interested to see what that delineation is. So, Royal Pegasus Knights... Okay, so they've got magical attacks. Does it say at what level? No, I guess it only does the damage split up down here. So, armor piercing 15, bonus versus large 12. So really it is more of an armor piercing than anti-large. They decide, okay, you know what? Not really our fight. We need to get back over here and take care of this Dawi artillery. Those Iron Breakers are just wasting our time. Wasting our time. So here's another Pegasus Knight getting roasted at point blank. Who wants some Pegasus wings? I like them extra crispy. Even some point-blank Trollhammer torpedoes into that unit. Get out of here. And the Dawi artillery re-engages. We see the blob out here in the distance. I'm okay just shooting at my own guys. Let's just put some shots into this blob. They finally break. You know, like, okay, you know what? We've had enough of this. We're going to run away. But guess what? They'll be back. Much more interested in shooting down the incoming... Oh, look at that chariot charge right into the White Lions of Trace. The regroup Rangers are opening fire. Oh, the Feral Manticore. I was asking the question, hey guys, do you think Iron Drakes can do anti-air work? They can when they're on the ground. Feral Manticore only 45 armor, and it gets a piece of all of this, as does my own allies, Marauder Champions with great weapons. Look at that! What accuracy! And here come the torpedoes as well. Who wants to be on the receiving end of that? Oh, shaky cam for the win, right? The Brutes of the Hound Berserkers get overwhelmed by the Pyrmane Company. And here comes even more Empire and Bretonnia forces. Just absolutely a nutsy battle. And somewhere over here... yes, the forward deployed Night Runners are going to go ahead and open fire on the enemy. There's just so much going on. And somewhere around here are those Iron Drakes. They are routing, but they are going to come back. They will be back for round 2. Oh, that's right, there they are. No, that's the Hammers. Oh, I must have forgotten about them. I totally thought they were gone. Oh well, as you can tell, when there's so much going on, it's hard to keep your focus and attention. And look at the carnage, it's already spread, and this is not even where the battle was the heaviest. So the White Lions of Trace, not really the best target for flamethrower Iron Drakes, but I'm not really caring too much at this point anyway. Here's another one of my organ gun crews. Meanwhile, the fight back here, it's going back and forth. The Outriders of Grenade Launch is already up to 226 damage, doing exactly what you're watching them do right now. They poke their head out once the Skaven player isn't paying attention, get another 50 kills, run back into the woods. It's been brutally effective. And Marauder Horsemasters are hoping they can get around behind them, but at this point, the damage is already being done by that unit. And they have the support of almost a fully healthy unit of Demigryph Knights. And units just keep coming back and rejoining the battle. At this point, Alariel has decided, you know what, I want a piece of this blob. This looks tasty to me. And I was like, oh my god, Alariel's here, Alariel's here. Open fire with the torpedoes. Open fire with the torpedoes. No, not the blessed trebuchet. Everything is going down here. Here come the torpedoes. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. But I think I ended up hitting the chariot more than my own unit. And look at that charge from Alariel. Just sent all of those Iron Drakes flying. Here's the Frostart Phoenix. Here come the Demigryph Knights. Here come the Blessed Trebuchet rounds. Here come the Spearmen. There's just so much happening. The Bretonnian infantry, they want a piece of this as well, and it just continues. Meanwhile, in the woods, my Iron Breakers have returned, and we've grabbed a hold of some of their long distance, some of their archers and their crossbowmen, because their infantry, they're now committed to this blob up here. Their artillery is putting fire into that blob. They're getting all sorts of damage done, but this is what happens in these huge battles. You lose track of that micro, and a unit like Iron Breakers is going to get some damage done. So the Peasant Bowmen with pox arrows, they've now noticed they're going to try and slow them down. But again, those kinds of arrows aren't going to get the work done against Iron Breakers. Skaven artillery has decided, you know what, Dawi, you've had your chance. We're going to go ahead and break this up. Those are definitely some missed shots, but... So all of that artillery decides, okay, we need to get back into the woods. Too much Skaven artillery for us to handle. The Warp Lightning Cannon does score a shot against Alariel, and the Plague Claw Catapults do put in some damage on the Demigryph Knights, and it just keeps going on from here. Skaven players brought up their Rat Ogres, their Queek Headtaker, and their Assassin, but now they're wondering, do we really want to? I mean, look at what's left. Look at what's happened. Here goes a unit of Iron Drakes just trying to escape, but the Frostart Phoenix has an idea about what to do with that. And yeah, just rain all of that icy death right on top of them. Okay, so my Dwarf Lord has decided I'm done with this. I'm going back here to support what's left of our troops. This is our final redoubt now. But the Iron Drakes, they're going to keep going. So they've already routed those crossbowmen. I do have support from these Knight Runners with slings, and it's just a matter of chasing down the pox arrows and the Peasant Bowmen. The Spearmen have gone off. I was hoping to get those Iron Drakes into the Blessed Trebuchet, but not anymore. They've started moving up because they need that artillery to try and do something about our huge artillery advantage, which is currently making a case for itself against the Demigryph Knights with halberds. See how our Outriders are doing. Do they finally break? Do they finally retreat? Somebody grab a hold of them? Maybe so. They could be out of the match now. Look at those Demigryphs just get evaporated. Great targeting acquisition from Wicked, our Skaven player. So I do have this unit of Iron Drakes retreating. They are going to get regrouped with the support of the Lord being nearby. Passive bonus from hero characters. Blessed Trebuchet is opening fire. Iron Drakes have now gotten a hold of yet another archer unit. 180 kills and going up. They are taking damage, but it's at such a slow clip. They retreat, so the Iron Drakes move on to the next target. You know, the crossbowmen came back. They realized, you know what, there's some slingers out here. And this is definitely a smaller engagement, but it's just as important because we are taking away some of the range component of their armies. But look who says they're sick and tired of it. The Reichsguard. They've said, you know what, I'm tired of losing troops here. So I've now routed my third unit. I see the Reichsguard coming, and this is what I recommend. If you have a very hurt, very exhausted unit of Iron Breakers, have them move and present their rear end to the enemy. No, of course not. You go into a blocky formation, you take your ground, you brace in the woods, you shout obscenities at the enemy in your blood-covered armor, and you wait for the attack. Unfortunately, he does bring his General of the Empire, which is going to make the difference. But watch this charge get negated. Bam! And then, yeah, I'm sorry, what was that about a negated charge? That General of the Empire says, no more of that business, and they really do start to feel the effects of the fear, of the chaos, of the carnage. They hold so long. They had no right holding up that long against a cavalry charge, but don't ever just charge braced iron breakers in the woods. It will not go in your favor. That is the lesson to be learned from this battle. So as you can see, the combined forces of Bretonnia, the Empire, and Avalorn have taken up position in the woods again, getting cover against the artillery. The Imperial infantry is supporting the Blessed Trebuchet, and the Blessed Trebuchet has decided it's going to target who? Me in particular, because we're sick and tired of the Iron Drake memery. I was so mad about that, too. I was like, are you kidding me? You're shooting them? When you have all of this, you shoot them. It's okay, they'll get their chance later on. And there goes the Blessed Field Trebuchet, finally getting into range of the Skaven artillery, and they're routing. They'll be back. That's the moral of this entire replay. They'll be back. And that's at that point the Imperial infantry says, "Oh, the Blessed Field Trebuchet is gone, and we're in the open field, and there's nothing for us to stand there for." Okay, all company left face, march. Get us out of there. Oh, here's a neat little detail I hadn't noticed before. One of these trees has a delightful little trap, a delightful little dead guy in a box. Oh, okay. So the Skaven artillery has decided, no. Before you get into the woods, we're going to give you some parting gifts, great swords. Okay, so we're now in that next phase of the battle. We're thinking about what are we going to do. You can see in the mini map here, this is not an ideal situation for us. We're out in the open. We're trying to like peek up, get a good look at their army. The Greyler Leak is still in business with its 0 kills. The Pegasus Knights have come back again. And look who's come back, as promised, the Blessed Field Trebuchet. And we don't lose sight of them. We watch those guys. We're like, you know what? You've already picked up 171 kills. We have your number. There's a grudge that needs to be satisfied. So Karak Kadrin, you see I'm moving up my Iron Drakes because we know this is where the engagement's going to happen now. We know it's going to happen here. We're just hoping that it's going to come out at us. I think at this point, the Skaven player needs to reposition his artillery, right? All that's left over there is the one Blessed Field Trebuchet and the infantry in the woods. But here is our ace in the hole. The one ace we have left. That is a Norskin Giant at almost full health. That's been holding in the back, as well as his Vermeer Balefiend of Fire. Holy Pilgrim has pretty much been holding back his Winds of Magic, just letting it build. Ilariel's used a couple of spells and abilities, but eventually we're just going to need to start moving our chaff forward into these woods and just see what we can do. Meanwhile, they're activating abilities and they're getting more stuff done. They're getting that Arcane Conduit going. They're trying to build up more Winds of Magic. Get as much power as they can. Same over here. Another Arcane Conduit activated. They're building up that Winds of Magic, which is smart play from Regina Day. She's going to go ahead and try and grab the Marauder Horseman while he's in a moment of micro. He's trying to type a message out to us, and they're going to get caught, and they're going to get routed. But that's what you do. You sacrifice a little bit in the name of teamwork, because meanwhile we're all talking about, okay, well, what are we doing here? What goes forward first? How do we advance this? Oh, they're gone. That's it. The Blessed Field Trebuchet is going to take a position up in these woods right over here and try and wait this out. The units that I had managed to rout have mostly regrouped back here, and the Imperial forces are content to just sit out in the woods, have a nice, camping trip, field day of it. The Reichsguard units are over here. Here's the one, 135 kills on this unit. They're healing. which is pretty significant. There must be like an Earthblood or something going on. So here comes our attack. We're now sending forward our Storm Vermin with Halberds supported with Skaven Slave Spears and Marauder units, and you're going to see how quickly they manage against all of this. Iron Drakes are moving up, and I decide, you know what? No, I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth. I want to keep them close to my Dwarf Lord for support. So there's going to be some in and out, some back and forth, some back and forth. Here comes the General of the Empire. I'm hoping I can get some Iron Drake fire on him. Even though he's armored, it would still be worth it, right? Because he's up in the air. Here comes the fire. Here comes the Skaven Slave Singer shots. And here goes a burning head from the Bale Fiend of Fire, which takes a hard left turn right into the Warp Lightning Cannon crew. Just right across them, routing a unit of Skaven Slave Spears, and it almost got a hold of another group of Clan Rat Spears. It almost did. It was very unfortunate. Iron Drakes are moving up now, trying to find a good flank shot, just something they can pull in this group. But the lines are pretty solid, and they have us outflanked, and that's going to be a huge problem for us. Kasukit, ha! Here comes the leadership of... Oh, that was a good last-ditch, last-second shot. But that was kind of bait. We were trying to pull these guys into this engagement. As you can see, we're quick to pull in all these extra units. The Giant's now moving forward. He's going straight to these engagements out here. And we quickly chase off Ilariel and the Frostark Phoenix. Did not deal as much damage as we wanted to. Iron Drakes, they have come back. Fight or die, stand your ground. The orders of the Dwarven Lord. This unit's now marching up. The Skaven Slave Spears have found them. Yeah, not a good day for those slaves. Not a good day. And here goes the Giant. He's already in battle. He's already got one kill, and it's going to keep going. Iron Drakes find Pegasus Knights airborne, and they say, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and charge that. Please get out of here. We do not need any more Iron Drake kills." They're only at 26, but they are putting out a lot of damage. What a fireball on the General of the Empire, and he's deeply regretting that, but he's thinking, you know what? I could probably get a piece of that. He pulls out an Arcane Conduit. Kill anyone without a beard. For being only, let's see here, 6, 7 models, the dwarves are definitely the loudest. And here comes the last thing my Iron Drakes wanted to see right now, a charge of the Reiksguard. Big issue for us. But we'll just go ahead and we'll shoot the Clan Rat Spears right in the back for you. You can go ahead and take that. They get punted for it. So here comes another spell. This one is a Flaming Sword of Ruin. Here comes the Frostark Phoenix one more time, trying to make short work of the Lord. The Iron Drakes continue to return. They're not done yet. They want this battle. The blob is real, and it is huge, and it's actually looks like it's a little bit in our favor, especially with the Giant now, but he's losing a lot of health. He's up to 14 kills, and they do have... does look like we have the infantry advantage here, but we don't have an advantage against all of this cavalry. And over here, you can see the General of the Empire has done some healing, and he has returned. He's going to drop right on top of this blob. He's going to rear charge it with all of this cavalry, and that is going to be what turns the tide with that infantry fight. Meanwhile, back here, all that's left of the Skaven artillery, which pretty much already used all of its ammo, gets overrun by Ilariel's cavalry. And here comes, on that backdoor maneuver, the Empire infantry. The Blessed Field Trebuchet was about to move up, and they decided, you know what? No, we quit. We're done. We're leaving. Skaven Slave Slingers are moving up. And then the Iron Drakes are back at it once more. All 3 of them. But they meaning the opposing army, were just as aware of my Iron Drakes as I was. Look at this. Roasting as much as we could, but just too short of a range. I wanted to get these cavalry in the back, but it just wasn't happening. There's going to be an excellent moment here where these Iron Drakes, they accomplish the grudge they set out to get. They decided, Screw this one Reichsguard knight in particular. All three of them open up. He is gone. That's it. Grudge settled. We can go home. Mission accomplished. The Dwarf Lord is the only model I have left in this battle, and he's getting bullied by the General of the Empire and the Reichsguard. Our infantry's falling apart. The power meter is fully against us now. It's just a matter of time. I'm the ranking lord. Charge for maybe 4 more seconds. You know what? I'm out. Peace out. Mission accomplished. We satisfied the grudge. We killed that one Reichsguard knight. You have no idea the offenses he brought to Dawi. We're done. I'm going home. I don't know why I decided to join the battle with Norsca and Skavens anyway. I'm getting out of here. Let's see how that giant really did. Only up to 28 kills. The Marauder Chieftain, 9 kills. The Vermeer Balefiend is in here as well with 26 kills. Most of them against allies. I smell failure too. I really do. That's going to be the end of it. Let's go ahead and get a look at all this carnage while everything counts down to the bitter end. Just so many dead all over the field. Look at all of these. Look at all these dead Skaven. All these dead everything. Here goes the assassin. I'm done with this. Peace out. There goes one poor Elevian Reaver horse. The bodies litter the woods. There isn't a spot in this map that we didn't use. Everywhere there was carnage. Everywhere there was chaos. And yet, no chaos units. The crossbowmen, they're even getting some parting kills on the Skaven slave slingers. Valiant defeat for us, and let me tell you, it was a blast. My cheeks were hurting at the end of this from all the smiling and laughing that we were doing when we were doing this. We absolutely want to do this and bring this out to you again in the future. Maybe even record it just so you can listen to some of our own commentary. They were hilarious, and I loved working with these 5 players and the additional 2 who joined us afterwards, which were the Colonel and Mika. They were absolutely a blast as well. We're going to go ahead and end this replay here. I'm going to show you the kills. It was such a good time. So Holy Pilgrim here deployed 776 with, come on, pull it up. Here it is, Wintertooth. I would say his MVP was definitely going to have to be his Marauder Horsemasters with those 67 kills early in the match. Otherwise, the only thing we could really thank him for was participating and showing up. You heard me, Holy Pilgrim. I said it. You were there. The Brutes of the Hound got overwhelmed, and that was majority true. But he was spread thin. He was trying to play the role of the mobile support, but he was just overwhelmed in that department from our opponents, and I'll show you their rosters here in a second. And keep in mind, this is an auto-generated army. Sometimes you're just going to have that disadvantage, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm looking forward to the day I auto-generate an army of Bretonnia, and it's like the second the battle starts, I'm going to get a warning. If you don't have any units on the ground, you're just going to have to retreat. Oh, crap, I've got nothing but Hippogriffs and Pegasus Knights and Leoncoeur on Beaky. Where am I going to go? Charge the enemy! Wicked, with the Skaven artillery line, and he put that artillery to good work, I would say. 63 on the Plague Claw Catapult. This Warp Lightning Cannon with 109. This one was 77. Storm Vermin with Halberds, yeah, they were there. But his Rat Ogres pulled some good numbers against the enemy infantry whenever they overextended. The Assassin was 7. Queek Head Taker only with 6, which was definitely unfortunate for Queek. Here's my army, and we rolled this. We looked at it and we went, what? Are you kidding me? It's meme-tastic. This is great. Look at the hammers, 150 kills on that charge into all of their low-tier infantry protecting their artillery line. 198 on the Iron Breakers. 198. The Iron Drakes, Let me tell you, it is really hard to use Iron Drakes effectively. I am proud of the amount of kills I was able to get with them. 58, 30, 53, 27. That's tough. Rangers, I threw them out there as a joke. I wasn't expecting them to last as long as they did. And then a big shout out to my organ gun flame cannon. Another, just like the Iron Drakes, another unit that's hard to use because of the short range, and it got singled out and targeted early. Bolt thrower with 11. That's really more from anti-air kills, because that's what it's meant to do. Touch Fluffy Tail playing as Bretonia, so I was wrong about who that was. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was Ungrim Iron. Oh no, wait. I thought it was somebody else entirely different, and I've been calling it wrong this whole time. Touch Fluffy Tail, my apologies. Thank you for coming out. So 874 deployed, Regina Day with 504, Ungrim Iron Assist with 936, and let's look at the numbers. That Blessed Field Trebuchet, 171 kills, and that was their MVP because that was making an embarrassment out of my infantry line and my artillery line. But I had to move my artillery up if they were going to start doing anything. Definitely seems like I should have just held them back with the defensive geometry of the Skaven. Regina Day here, oh my goodness. She only had 10 units to work with, and she put them all to solid work, especially the White Lions. They were very useful in the later game, the later stages. The Dragon Princes, the Illyrians, they got the work done as well. The Sun Dragon, we handled that fairly quickly, unfortunately for Regina, but the Frost Archphoenix just kept coming back. And that was a harassment for just about everywhere on the field the entire battle. Ungrim Iron Fist with the 936 deployed. Great army, actually, as I'm looking at it. I wouldn't, if I got that as an auto-generated army, I'd be pretty satisfied. I'd be happy. Especially the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, 111 kills, 285 kills on those Outriders, folks. Those Outriders with grenade launchers, they are made for fighting 1,998 Skaven. A tenth of that Skaven infantry was obliterated by the Outriders. The Demigryph Knights of the Halberds, they were used mostly against Dwarven artillery and in some rear charges. Didn't really get the best use out of them, but that's okay because they took the attention away from these two Reichsguard units. 310 kills, MVP of the game with considering the damage that they took. They wrapped up that infantry blob at the end. Definitely well done. And the great swords, no slouches either. And keep in mind, they were engaged with those iron breakers early on. And the kills are comparable. 229 kills between them, 198 kills on those iron breakers. And it gives you such opportunities to see some absolutely ridiculous matchups, things that you would never expect to see, things you would never try to do, and it's so much fun to have these auto-generated armies. I was howling and cracking up with everybody until well past midnight last night. It was such a great time. Anyway, I'd like to go ahead and thank everybody for listening, and I will see you later.